Today's story is personal. It's about identity, family, faith, and the feeling of vulnerability that follows honesty. I'm from the Middle East, where family is everything, and so is tradition. I'm also the only child in a conservative household, and living independently isn't really an option. Here until your late 20s or 30s. Culturally and legally, even as a legal adult, I still need my father's approval for things like medical decisions. That's just how it is. Islam is the official religion in my country. And while it teaches compassion and peace, there are parts of society, especially older generations, that simply haven't had access to education or open conversations about LGBTQIA+ identities. That includes my family. My mother is kind and calm, but she's also deeply religious. And unfortunately, like many others around her, she views queerness through a lens of tradition and taboo. One of my relatives, my uncle, is gay. They tried to fix him when he was younger by marrying him off to a woman. It didn't work. They divorced. Now he quietly lives with my grandparents, and we just don't talk about it. Recently, I made a decision that changed everything. I came out to my mom. It wasn't loud or dramatic. We were just having a quiet conversation at home. I told her that I'm asexual. I don't feel sexual attraction, but I'm also panromantic. I can fall in love with someone regardless of their gender. That's just who I am. At first, she didn't understand. She asked if it meant I hated sex or was just confused. I explained that I didn't hate it. I just didn't feel anything toward it. It was like trying to describe a color she had never seen. Then I told her something I had never shared before. I had a crush on a girl when I was in 8th grade. It was innocent, sweet, and real. And it made me understand what love felt like. My mom stayed calm. No yelling, no anger. But her words cut deep. She said I needed therapy, that maybe it was the hormonal medication I take for PCOS, that I needed hormone treatment or a psychiatrist. She said what I felt was a sin. I cried, quietly, but I couldn't hold it in. And I told her that what I felt wasn't wrong, that love is love, and that being asexual or queer isn't an illness, but she didn't agree. She brought up the story of Lot from the Quran. I gently explained that the story was about violence and abuse, not love. Still, she insisted, it's wrong, it's forbidden, you need help. I asked her, if one day I'm living with a woman instead of a man, and we have a pet instead of children, would you accept me? She said no. That moment shattered me. My mom had always been my safe place. We were close. We talked about everything. And suddenly, I felt exposed, vulnerable, like the protective shell I'd been carrying was gone. A few hours later, we had another conversation. I told her maybe I was wrong. Maybe I misunderstood those feelings. I said it to make her feel better, like I needed things to calm down, like I was scared she'd actually force me into treatment, or worse, believe that something was deeply broken inside me, and she seemed relieved. I played along, but it wasn't the truth. Now, everything feels different. We still talk like normal, but that sense of safety, of comfort, is gone. And the worst part? I don't feel rejected. I expected that. What's hurting me is the fear that I opened myself up, and that space where I once felt protected is no longer there. I feel vulnerable, like I took a leap of faith and fell. I know I'm not alone. Many people, especially in conservative or religious families, carry this quiet pain. So I'm sharing my story to say, you are not broken. Your identity is valid, and you are worthy of love and safety, even if it doesn't come from where you hoped. My long-term goal is to leave the country one day, not out of anger, but for the freedom to live openly and honestly. I'm not running away. I'm building toward something better. So if you've been through something like this, or you're just feeling lost right now, I see you, and you're not alone. Thanks for listening. If this resonated with you, or you've been through something similar, feel free to share your story in the comments. Let's make this a space where people feel seen, even if the world outside doesn't always understand.